Hello! This is Redithan, and I'm here to introduce the Tennessee Tynamos. Yes, Tennessee Tynamos, that's really my new team for leagues. I freelanced this logo myself, so yeah, mad art skills on me. It was really easy actually. I'm not that I'm not that much of an artist, but so yeah. I'm really debuting it here. This is a preseason tournament for the GPC, and I haven't made it in. I haven't made it into the GPC. This is kind of like the final step towards the application. So I made it this far. So yeah, hopefully I make it in. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, Tennessee Tynamos, that'll be my team for that if I am to make it in, and really for any future leagues that I decide to do. So basically what this tournament, is that there's 32 of us. Some of them are already in the GPC. Most of us are applicants though. It's just unfortunate we won't all make it in because I met some cool people. Yeah, but oh yeah. So this is basically a preseason tournament. 32 teams, and we're all matched up into groups of 4 here in this first round. So we all face each other once to decide who goes on to the knockout round, which is the knockout round is all one battle, and if you lose, you're out, and it's just a tournament. So here I have my 3 battles that I'm going to go over. I finished all of them, so I'm just gonna provide some post commentary here, show really what I was thinking and kind of what my thought process was through this whole event here. It was a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying it. So here is my team. In the first round, I drafted Berloom. I don't know. I really liked. I don't know. Spore's really good. That's really the main draw to Berloom. Like Spore and Mach Punch, those just are fantastic on Berloom, and I felt it would be kind of good since when you're confined to 6 Pokemon, you can't really bring a counter to everything. So say someone didn't have like something that was immune to Spore, they would probably have like a Grass type or something. They'd have to run like safety goggles or something. So it kind of forces your opponent into running some weird stuff just to avoid falling asleep, because normally you'd have a Grass type, but not every team in a 16 format is going to have a Grass type that can deal with Berloom. So I felt like that would be pretty good just to have that pressure there. Although some did not like that first pick, and I understand why. Drafting is not my strong suit, for sure. But I felt it synergized really well with my second pick, which was Mega Aerodactyl. I basically chose Mega Aerodactyl because it has so much coverage. With Tough Claws, it makes all the elemental fangs, Ice Fang, Fire Fang, and Thunder Fang, all very useful. Stone Edge is awesome. Aerial Ace, I mean, it would be better if it had better Flying Stab, but it's still great coverage with that Tough Claws. Iron Head, Aqua Tail. As far as coverage moves, oh yeah, Earthquake. Gets Earthquake, of course. I think that's it for coverage, but it also gets Taunt, Stealth Rocks, Tailwind, just a whole bunch of great utility moves. So I thought that'd be awesome. And paired with Berloom, it can take out pesky flying types, and yeah, I just felt it was a really, really good matchup for Berloom. And then with my third pick, I took Empoleon, and I basically took Empoleon because I needed something to get rid of hazards, and I knew Empoleon probably was not the best pick for that for the third round, but I didn't want it to go because it's such a reliable defogger without having to get another flying type. I didn't really want to get 2 flying types because I don't know, I felt like type diversity would be important in a 6v6 kind of matchup, just because you want as least weaknesses exploited as possible. So yeah, I got Empoleon. It's good typing. It kind of forces your opponents to deal with grass types or water types a bit differently, because its typing makes it a lot harder to deal with than most water types. So that's why I wanted it. And overall, it's just got great special attack. It even has pretty good regular attack with Defiant, and thought it was a good utility for those purposes. So and type matchup and all that, yeah. Type synergy, I mean. And then my fourth pick, I got Chandelure. And Chandelure's purpose was to stop fighting spam, because I noticed that if there was like a Scarf fighting type, such as like Heracross or what else, Keldeo or something of that sort, I have nothing to deal with that really. So I got Chandelure just to stop that whole spam, because I know most fighting types run knockoff and all that, but it'd be much better to force a fighting type to go for knockoff and allow a switch into Breloom after that, rather than just be KO'd by a fighting type move, like endlessly. So yeah, I got Chandelure there. It's also got great special attack, so it can be a nice special sweeper, and it has good type coverage with the rest of my team. So yeah, that's it for Chandelure. And then with my fifth pick, I got Slurpuff. And Slurpuff is there because I wanted a fairy type, and I wanted something that could learn to Wish. And Heal Bell, of course, just to get like that whole cleric deal up with Slurpuff. Aromatisse was available at the time, but I really wanted Slurpuff because Aromatisse is very, very passive. With Slurpuff, you can set up, you can do like the Belly Drum, you can do Calm Mind and Cotton Guard on that. So I wanted something that wouldn't just be setup fodder, and I feel like that's exactly what Aromatisse is. So yeah, I got my Slurpuff here. And then finally I got Meloetta. Originally with this pick I wanted Miltank, but it was taken, unfortunately. So yeah, I just wanted Meloetta because it was there, and I know how good Meloetta can be. It's very strong, it can be very bulky, so you'll see later on kind of what Meloetta is capable of. So after that very long intro analyzing my team, let's go into this first battle. So this first battle is against Flame Dog 3, and aka Alex. His team is the Venice Victinis. So yeah, the first battle I did of this tournament, he's obviously his team's a lot more heat than mine is. He's got a Sudowoodo. I mean, that says something. Yeah, so he's already in the GPC, so that's why I think he did a randomizer team, which is really cool. But so yeah, so first turn he leads with the Sudowoodo. I go into my Breloom, and there, I knew he probably wasn't gonna stay in. Or if he did, I could KO with Bullet Seed with 3 hits because I'm Life Orb. But here's the thing about this Breloom. Oh yeah. I didn't go for Spore either because I thought that he might have something with Safety Goggle, so I just went for the safe Bullet Seed because Gourgeist is not a switch hit. And you'll see right here, after this Bullet Seed hit, he switches out and I go for Hidden Power. Oh my god, and right here I felt so sad because that was actually Hidden Power Ice. And I ran Hidden Power Ice because it 2-hit KOs Gourgeist. Because, keep in mind, even though Burloo's special attack is only like 60, with full investment, Rash Nature, and Technician, that's pretty much the equivalent of an Ice Beam. Like, so you've got a Life Orb Ice Beam coming at Gourgeist. Doesn't appreciate that. But the best part about this is I almost did HP Flying. And I was really close to doing that just for Heracross because I knew it would switch in, but I decided to go with Ice just because I felt Staraptor was more dangerous to my team. I didn't really have as many switch-ins to Staraptor, and by not many, I mean I don't have any switch-ins to Choice Banded Staraptor. So I want to get HB Ice because that plus Mach Punch KOs Staraptor. So yeah, so I go for the HB Ice. This Heracross obviously Assault Vested, so I have to switch out here. I go into my Slurpuff, which is my physical wall. And he goes right back into his Gourgeist, and here I decided to set up. I felt this was a great opportunity. Yeah, so this is the Calm Minding Slurpuff. No one ever sees it coming, so I thought it would just be fantastic for this this team. As he goes for a Jarble, that's a crit that does 22%. So yeah, with I didn't even do the Cotton Guard, and that just did a butt ton. So he goes for that. That does like 6%. So now I'm like really, really set up. He switches out, but I go for Flamethrower, and Heracross just does not want to take that. Gets burned, but doesn't matter because I outspeed anyway with a Draining Kiss. And so yeah, right now I'm just like in full Slurpuff sweep mode. I'm getting really pumped. So he sends in the Staraptor. I crit it and get almost full HP. His double edge does nothing, and the Staraptor is just gonna go down. But here's unfortunately the sweep's gonna end here, as I go for Calm Mind there because I thought there was no way this thing was gonna KO me, but Choice Specs Hyper Beam, yeah. I can't complain about that. That's just a great move. So here I go for Bullet Seed and get rid of this Aurorus. So Aurorus is gone, but Slurpuff took some lives. And right here, I could have gone for Spore, but I knew there was a good chance this thing was Safety Goggles, because like I was saying in the preview, with the Spore threat, with the 66 tournament, you're guaranteed to see a Breloom, so you know Spore's coming, so I really expect my opponents to plan around that. So here, I went in Empoleon. I knew this thing had Earthquake and Thunder Wave, but I did anyway. This Empoleon is actually Swords Dance. It's got Swords Dance, Aqua Jet, Knockoff, and Steel Wing. And the reason I thought I chose that for this team is because Staraptor and Granbull both get Intimidate. I knew that if I get intimidated, like if they try to switch in on me, actually Granbull probably wouldn't switch in on a Steel type, but I knew Staraptor probably would be as close combat. I was also running Chapelberry for those close combats, so this team was really made to be just made to be kind of a counter teaming Pokemon, just to get rid of Granbull and Staraptor. But I knew there was really no way I could deal with Gourgeist. He tries to Will-O-Wisp, gets predicting a switch, but I had Knockoff, so I get rid of the leftovers. And here I didn't really have anything else to do, so I just went in Meloetta. Meloetta with the normal typing, even though it's a ghost type, is immune to ghost type moves, so yeah, I realized there was really nothing Gourgeist could do but Leech Seed and Will-O-Wisp, but I'm carrying the Shadow Ball, so I'm just gonna go for that. That is a lot to Granbull. Unfortunately, I'm Choice Scarfs, or else I would have gone for Psychic here, but because I think that kills, pretty sure that kills from there, that range. So I'm forced to switch out here, back into Empoleon as he goes to the Earthquake, predicting that. That's okay, I didn't really need Empoleon for this match, as I get paralyzed trying to go for the Aqua Jet. Just trying to get that little more chip damage there. As now I go back into Meloetta, and here I go for the Hyper Beam. Yeah, scaring the Hyper Beam because Psychic, after those leftovers recovery, might even be before that. I'm not sure. My team building, I did a bunch of calcs to make sure of this stuff. But yeah, Hyper Beam was a KO, guaranteed from Granbull at that range. So I just wanted to get rid of that as much as possible. He goes to Sudowoodo. Just have to recharge to get to his rocks, and I'm gonna switch out here to Breloom. As he's gonna switch right back into the Gourgeist. I switched into the Breloom because I know that Sudowoodo usually carries Sucker Punch, and because I love using Sudowoodo, I use it all the time. So yeah, I knew it had Sucker Punch, so I just wanted to switch into Breloom, anticipating that, and I'd be able to get another Bullet Seed off. But yeah, that actually worked out in my favor because he still doesn't know that I know that he has Sucker Punch, and that's going to play in a minute. So I go for the HP Ice. That is 65% to the Gourgeist, which is brilliant. I loved that. That just made me so happy. As he's just going to try to Will-O-Wisp me, and yeah, Shadow Sneak doesn't take me out. I'll just take him out back with a Hidden Power. He probably could have switched out there, but I don't know, I guess he was afraid of Meloetta or something. I don't know. I don't know. He probably was anticipating some weird stuff. Whatever. I go into Chandelure here, and he goes for second bunch fails because I actually go for the Memento. And this was actually, from a differential standpoint, probably not the best play because I went for Memento in case this thing was Life Orb. Because I don't know, I should have calculated this beforehand, but I was afraid that if he was Life Orb, he'd get like a max roll and take Meloetta out with Sucker Punch. So I just wanted to make sure that didn't happen. So I just went for the Memento, get its attack down, so I could guarantee to get at least 2 hits off with Meloetta. As that Sucker Punch fails, Psychic takes it all the way down to 19%. Cuffs that very suckered, still doesn't take me out, so I'm just able to get it out with a Psychic. And yeah, so I win that battle. I didn't even have to use Aerodactyl. And actually, let me go back on One thing where I said that the differential standpoint, I forgot I actually worked this out later. It didn't really matter in the end because either way, like something dies because of, like cussed app and all that. So yeah, it was probably gonna be a 2-0 anyway, even if I didn't go in with there with the Chandelure and yeah, all that stuff. But yeah, 2-0 victory. A win's a win, even though I probably should have done much better against the randomized team. But you know, I was running some gimmicky stuff because I knew he was gonna run some gimmicky stuff. So yeah, as you can see, my nickname theme right here is a song. It is "Take on Me" by Aha. My other teams actually have different songs, so you can see if you can identify those. So yeah, that's the first game. Okay, so here is my second battle I did against Beige Bears, or Beige Bears, I don't know, I just call him Beige. But his team is the Las Vegas Absols, and so yeah, his team is much more competitive. Like, this even looks like an OU team almost, or I guess like an X and Y OU team, because Zapdos is now UU. But so yeah, this is a very, very scary team. I was really nervous to go up against it. So yeah, I lead off here with my Breloom as he goes into Gallade, and here, this is really where the heat comes in with this Breloom, as I'm actually running Scarf Breloom with Spore because I knew that he had Zapdos and Durant and Gallade that all outspeed Breloom and all just don't even care about Mach Punch. So I wanted to at least be able to do something to this team, and I felt Breloom would kind of be useless any other form. So yeah, so it's running Spore, Force Palm, Bullet Seed, and Rock Tomb. So really just coverage for his whole team and Spore. So yeah, so I put the Gallade to sleep, and I send in Chandelure here. Chandelure, I just wanted to, I don't know, this was a, I think this was my Flame Charge set. I'm pretty sure it's like Flame Charge, Shadow Ball, Fire Blast, and Memento. So yeah, or this might have been the Scarf one. I don't know. It doesn't matter here because he's Zen Headsbutt, wake up the first turn and crits me. Yep, that definitely happened. He was even mad about that because that was just some dumb hacks right there. So off to a wonderful start, great start as I said. But so now I go into hold on, let me turn the music off. Sorry about that. But so now I go into Aerodactyl. I don't know if that picked up the mic or not. So now I go into Aerodactyl. This is actually Adamant, so Aerial Ace Oko's Mega Late as he goes into his Hentai Star. That takes a buttload from Aerial Ace, and so I'm just able to KO'd it. He goes into Zapdos, and I figured there was no way this he would send this in unless this was either Scarfed or defensive. So one way or another, I didn't want to stay in there, so I switched on to Breloom because I felt there was no way he was also going for Heat Wave. As it just goes for the Volt Switch, which does a bunch of damage, confirming to me this is offensive and probably Scarfed, so I kept that in mind for the rest of the match as I go into Durant. As I outspeed and go for the Spore, so there's another thing asleep as I take my chances again. Luckily, he switches out here, right into Zapdos, but it's actually not very lucky because I have my Empoleon, so Volt Switch does way over half as I get my Rocks. So his Zapdos is limited to 1,000 turns because he has no way to remove hazards. As I go for Scald, take that thing way down, that Durant, as he'll stay asleep. So I roar him out. I expected a switch, but it didn't work in my favor. So he goes into Blissey. I have really nothing for Blissey. So I'm just going to stay here actually and roar again because I really don't want anything else to take a T-Wave. As now he goes into his Hippo. And I guess he predicted me to switch there. I really had nothing to switch in though, because I guess I could have switched into Breloom there, but they can learn Ice Fang. They can get a lot of coverage. I didn't really mess around with that. I didn't really need Empoleon, especially with Durant asleep. As I'm just gonna take out Durant. He's going right back to Golden State, and yeah. So Durant's down. He goes into Zapdos, and I'm just gonna sack Empoleon here to get a crit. That didn't matter. So I'm going to Breloom, and I could just have more fun because his his Durant's asleep, so Sleep Clause is deactivated here. So yeah, I'm just gonna put the Blissey to sleep. I almost went for Force Palm, predicting that, but I felt there's no point because here I'm going to switch in my Meloetta. This is a sub-Calm Mind Meloetta. So he's going to Zapdos, and this thing is max HP, had max speed. So his Zapdos is gonna do 0 with that Volt Switch. That was really impressive. I was able to get that Calm Mind up, and this was probably my biggest mistake here. And this is like differential-wise, really screwed me up. I probably could have swept if I didn't make this one mistake, and that's I have the sub. He goes for Seismic Toss, and it breaks my sub because, for some reason, I was thinking that above 400 HP, Seismic Toss can't break the sub, but it's actually 404 HP, where your subs become unbreakable by Seismic Toss. So yeah, because I knew Blissey usually runs Seismic Toss, so I was anticipating that. But so I was actually running 403 HP because I didn't want to run the 404 in case throw rocks up, to take minimal damage from that. So that was a huge screw up. I really regret doing that. But either way, I go for a Psyshock, and that does tons to Blissey, even with no special attack investment. Goes for Seismic Toss again, and I'm just gonna take out this Blissey. So he really has nothing to switch in here. As now it goes into Gallade, and I knew knockoff was coming, because why not? It's best move in the game. As he knocks off my Choice Scarf, so I'm just going to sack Breloom there, basically. I really had no more use for him. Now I go into Zapdos, is another thing, or Aerodactyl, basically another thing dies, as Hippowdon is going to take an Aerial Ace. 21%, that tells me this thing is definitely defensive, therefore it can't Oko me, as I'm running it can't Oko me a Stone Edge, that is, as I'm running 72 EVs in HP, because I just ran enough speed to outspeed Mega Gallade before, before Mega Ing. So I go for Aqua Tail, that is 47%, he missed the Stone Edge, that's a little unfortunate for him. But yeah, like I said, it would. I don't even think it does half. I'm pretty sure I calculated. I don't think it does half without investment and the amount of HP I had. And if he decided to slack off, I have Hone Claws, so I could have just won that war. As he take it out, he goes into Zapdos, and here I was sure that this thing was scarfed at this point. So I decided to switch out. I preserve Aerodactyl because I wanted to be able to take out Gallade, as Meloetta is just going to be able to take out the Zapdos because Zapdos can't kill it. And I knew it couldn't switch out because it would take my rocks, but it actually gets a max roll there, which was unfortunate, so I lose my Meloetta. But I have Snow Halation, the Slurpuff. Yes, that's the song I'm referencing with this team. Why not, right? He goes for Thunderbolt. I tank that, just able to take it out with a Flamethrower. I was actually running the Berry, which, if you didn't know, Berry reduces the damage taken by super effective shield type moves by 50%, so I had that specifically for Durant, because Durant was kind of ran amok on my team. So I wasn't able to get the Unburden boost, unfortunately, so he's just going to take me out with a Poison Jab with the Gallade, and here Aerodactyl is just able to Aerial Ace and Oko. So yeah. So I got my second victory here. This one a lot closer, a 1-0. I probably could have made it like a 3-0 or a 4-0 if I did those Meloetta EVs right, but what you gonna do? It's sometimes you gotta make those mistakes to learn from them. So yeah, I probably won't forget that. I probably won't forget the 404 HP thing ever again. I guess you could say I made an error 404. I'm such a clown. Anyway, so yeah. So at this point I was 2-0 in the knockout rounds, so I'm gonna get to my last battle here. Okay, so this is my last battle against Rise Pool. His team is the Cologne Cockhelders, and of course he's got Kenkelder. He's got his mascot on his team. And yeah, his team is definitely, I would say it's probably like the most dangerous team in the entire tournament, because Tornadus and Tornadus Garchomp This is actually Mega Garchomp, but still, it's still a huge threat. It's got Garchomp and Jirachi, which are already two of like the most dangerous, not really dangerous, but like probably two of the best Pokemon in OU, and he got both of them. So he's got that. So he's got like a really scary core, and obviously with my almost UU team, my team is basically a UU team with a Breloom. So I was obviously outclassed here. So we'll go into this battle here. Sorry for not having like the names and the Pokemon up here. I realized this like halfway through recording this that the skin I downloaded didn't really show those, so apologize for that. But yeah, obviously like that's my team and that's my opponent. So yeah, sorry about that. But it's just like Wi-Fi. I have the music on again. Sorry about that. I don't know if that's picking up the mic, but just in case. So here we go. I lead off with my Aerodactyl as he leads off with his Conkeldurr. I was actually predicting the Garchomp here, and I'll tell you why I was leading with Aerodactyl over Mega Garchomp, and that's because I'm running Adamant, and I also have Ice Fang. And since there's no way it can be Scarf Chomp since it's forced to be Mega, I knew I'd be able to outspeed and Adamant Ice Fang OHKO's Garchomp unless it's like really bulky. So yeah, I really just wanted to do that because I expected it to be as a rocker, because that and Jirachi is the only thing that can learn rocks. And Jirachi, I just never see Jirachi leading, so that's probably a really dumb reason, but I don't know. I am stupid sometimes, but yeah. So I just didn't really want that to happen, so he leaves out the Conkeldurr, and I really thought there was no way he was going to stay in here, because Aerial Ace hits like a truck against any fighting type, even as bulky as Conkeldurr. So I predict this. I predict the switch here, and I go for Stealth Rock, but he actually stays in and goes for Drain Punch, so that does over half. So I wanted no part in that, so I go right into Slurpuff here, and this Slurpuff is actually exactly the same as the Slurpuff in the first battle against Alex, aka Flame Dog. Yeah, so this is Calm Mind, Cotton Guard, Flamethrower, and Draining Kiss. So I go for the Cotton Guard here, expecting the Poison Jab, which he does, and that's just absolutely a zero. Slurpuff is so good if you can set up. So I get the Calm Mind up, so now I'm really bulky. He goes for Iron Head. That takes me down to the Citrus, so I don't have to worry about flinch anymore, and I don't get flinch there, which is cool, so I get the Calm Mind. Flamethrower does over half, which goes for the Iron Head again. And here, I think I predicted the switch here. No, he just protected. Never mind. So I went for the Flamethrower, and he had Protect, so this told me this was definitely like more of a bulky variant. It goes into Politoed. I go for Flamethrower, which has nothing. That showed me this thing was a Soul Vest, which is so annoying. As I get the Draining Kiss, he gets Scald, crits, and burns me. So, ooh, that sucked. After the battle, we kind of talked about it. It didn't seem, I don't know, it may or may not have mattered. It really depends on if he got the burn or not later on. If he could have whittled me down or not after I got enough Calm Minds. But yeah, so that sucked. I could have taken the Politoed out much better. But he missed the Hydro Pump there, so we're both a little lucky and bad. As I go for the Psyshock, after getting the Trick Room up, I felt that my reasoning for Trick Room is that while team building, I realized how slow my team is and how fast his is with Tornadus and Jirachi. I mean, Jirachi's base 100 speed, but that's a lot with the Choice Scarf, because Scarf Jirachi, you have to prepare for that because you can just get hacked out so easily with that thing. So yeah, I ran Trick Room just so I could efficiently outspeed stuff, as the Psyshock does a lot, and I'm just going to take out the Shadow Ball just in case the Jirachi switched in. As now the Jirachi is here, as he goes for Protect, so I go for the Shadow Ball. Here, I actually predicted him to switch, so I went for the Psyshock, which was a dumb play, I guess. And he's just gonna Wish, which, ooh, just fun times. So I predict the Protect there, and I go for another Trick Room. And here I switch out because I want to preserve my Meloetta for Conkeldurr, and I know he's probably gonna go for Iron Head, or I know he probably wasn't go for a Psychic type move, so I switch into Breloom. This is actually Relaxed Nature, Max HP, Max Defense, Toxic Orb, Spore, Sub, Leech Seed, Drain Punch. So I wanted to get a little stally action up in here. So it goes to Protect. I predict that, and I go for the Sub. And now I go for the Spore, and I just start see how much I can whittle everything down. So I go for the Leech Seed here after. I knew this thing had Wish, but I thought that I see after the Drain Punch. Yeah, Iron Head can't even break the Sub. Bulky Breloom, as the Drain Punch is 24%, so or 22%. So I knew that this thing would eventually just not be able to sleep long enough where I could take it out, so it couldn't Wish back up. But here decides to switch into Scolipede, and this is where I kind of regretted putting the Jirachi to sleep, because it couldn't break my Sub after one. So after one Iron Head, so I probably could have just kept stalling it out, as bad as that sounds. But he goes into Scolipede here. I can't put it to sleep, of course, because Sleep Claws, he gets the Wish. And so he breaks my Sub. I just get the Leech Seed just because. And I knew I could live a Poison Jab, but it still does so much with Life Orb. So I just go into Empoleon. He predicts that, goes for Earthquake. This is probably the turning point in the match, because as you'll see later, Scolipede was kind of the... Scolipede was kind of just too much for me in the end here. So Earthquake is going to 2-hit KO this Empoleon. But he has Baton Pass the speed to Garchomp, which is so scary. I almost went for Roar, and I wish I did, because I knew Baton Pass was possible with Scolipede. And so yeah, I go for the Scald here. I wish I went for the Roar. But so yeah, he's gonna Mega Evolve, take me out with Earthquake. I could have switched there to Cowboy Casanova, but I didn't want to risk it, because Breloom was really vital to my victory, or chance of victory, I mean. So I go for the Drain Punch, heal bit up, and now I actually make a great play here. So I go into Chandelure, because I didn't want to lose my Breloom, as he goes for Poison Jab, and he's just going to die to the Leech Seed. So I'd be able to preserve Breloom, which is cool. So he goes into Conkeldurr. I'm just going to do tons to it to Fire Blast, because this is actually this is another Trick Room user. It's minus speed, but it still outspeeds Conkeldurr, because Conkeldurr is slow as balls. And now I go to Meloetta, and just going to outspeed and KO it with Psyshock. This thing was max HP, so I knew that Mach Punch couldn't KO. And I knew it wasn't like Life Orb or a Choice Band, because it used... I mean, I didn't know that, but I knew that if it did, it if it was Life Orb, it would show me, because he used Knockoff, or if it was Choice Band, he would be stuck in a Knockoff. So either way, that Conkeldurr was going down. Now he goes into Scolipede, and since I can't get Trick Room up, he's just going to take me out with the Poison Jab. And this is where Scolipede basically just cleans up. This is where I was saying that Scolipede was gone. I might be able to win the match, but later I learned that his Tornadus was actually scarfed, so in the end, probably not, as Breloom's just going to go down to the Poison Jab, and that's game. So he wins 3-0 against me. I was able to make it close. That Breloom nearly pulled it out for me, but yeah, Scolipede just turned out to be way too much for this team. And like I said, that Empoleon prediction with the Earthquake was probably the biggest play of the match, because if I was able to just get a bit more damage on this thing so it dies on the next rock switch in, I would be able to win, possibly. Who knows? Because Tornadus probably could have not taken out Empoleon. I don't know. I don't know what set he was running, but who knows? I could have made it a lot closer. That's definite. But yeah. So right now I'm 2-1. I actually don't know whether I made it to the knockout round yet at the time of recording this, because opponent Ricepool and Bage still has their battle to do. If Ricepool wins, then I make it to the knockout round. If Bage wins, then I don't. So just gotta wait for that. Good luck to both of them. I mean, of course I want Bryce to win, but it's Pokemon. It's not really that big of a deal. So, yeah, that was it for the GPC preseason preliminary rounds of this preseason tournament. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to make it into the GPC. I don't even know if I'm going to make it to the knockout round, but if I do, I will surely be making videos on those. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that, hopefully, I guess. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this. This has been Redithan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.